I think wherever you have children and humans for that matter, problems remain the same. A teacher will never be able to get the best out of the child. Our children are placed in various fields, from being an IIT to a child being, going to Paris for fashion studies.
Hi, welcome to Yellowslate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters. Today, we have Miss Deepa Kapoor, who is the principal of Suchitra Academy, which is in Suchitra Junction. She holds more than 2 decades of experience in the educational field and has worked in multiple leadership roles in various organizations. Her recent completion of School Management and Leadership course at Harvard University is a testimony for her commitment to the sector, to the educational sector. Let's talk to her and understand what she thinks about schooling and also make her answer some concerns that parents are likely to have while joining their kid in a school. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Santan. Very nice to be here.
Ma'am, to begin with, can you summarize your learnings of your course at Harvard University when you have attended the university for School Management and Leadership course?
So the course, it had 5 modules, and it was all about leadership at school level and how as leaders we can bring out the best in teams and leadership at various levels. It was touching upon all the verticals, and it was very beautifully designed because it worked around case studies of schools in the US and how leaders managed to overcome hurdles and emerge successful in their areas of work. So it could be about, managing people. It could be about bringing out the best leaders in teams. It was about how improving a school environment. So there were case studies around it, and the learning was immense because it was so much to do with the day-to-day challenges that we as leaders also face. So it was excellent, and I really learned a lot. And there were many areas where I could relate to and bring to my school and, my school setting too. Yes.
Fantastic. Ma'am, I'm sure in this process you must have got enough exposure to how the education system works in the Western side of the world. Can you tell us how that is different from what we follow here in India? And do you see any areas that we can really get better looking at them?
So I think wherever you have children and humans for that matter, problems remain the same, So when you're dealing with children right now, the issues are about emotional wellness. They are about children's concentration, maybe. And, if you're trying to bring the best to the children in the classroom. So these are a couple of things which I find are very common to schools, that you're trying to bring around the best for children, whatever the working scenario. And each and every school that was there, I think works towards that, whatever given their best circumstances, everybody tries to, pitch in the best. So even on my school visit that I had on an international exchange program to Italy, I had discovered the same thing, that wherever we have children, the issues remain the same. And the way we deal with it empathetically to children and looking at what is it that children would be wanting to learn in this digital age that we are in, So children have so much of information in hand already. So what is the teacher's role actually in class? So teachers or educators, we really need to up ourselves. We need to really know what is it that we are doing in the classrooms, and is it actually relevant to children anymore? And if not, then we really need to work towards enhancing our skills, enhancing our knowledge to bring the best to the children. So I think, as I said, our challenges remain the same, whether whichever country we are in. And that is what has been my learning through the years. And I also think that the more we expose children to the outside world, we tell them, what we are preparing them for, though we really don't know, and the next 20 years, what the world where the world would move. But at the same time, the emotional quotient is what I think stands out the most. Whatever skills they develop, that is what would hold them in good state in the long run.
Got it. So you touched upon the importance of skills and the emotional quotient. So what role you think syllabus plays in the whole gambit of things in ensuring that a kid gets the most out of a school?
Yeah. So, no area can be worked around independently. I think when you're talking about an emotional quotient, it has to be inbuilt in whatever our day-to-day work that we do with children. For example, if I give you an example and I say that in a class, suppose a child comes without doing his homework, and if the teacher does not go back to the home environment, to the child's home environment to understand why the child has not done his homework and come. There could be so many reasons. It could be sheer laziness, one, but at the same time, it could be that the child is going through some trauma at home, maybe a fight with the parents, some emotional issues. So, in case there is no link of a teachers connect with the child personally, a teacher will never be able to get the best out of the child. So learning has to be very, I would say, there's a strong link between a teacher's connect and what the child learns in class. If the teacher has that emotional connect with each and every student of hers or his, so I think the learning can be manifold. One is, of course, the knowledge that you are imparting to children of subject related, concept related, but then that can actually become so meaningful to the child if the teacher connects to the child. So I think emotionally you cannot put both of them apart. They are both together. Learning happens better if it is that way.
Interesting. And ma'am, for those parents who are looking for a good school, what is your piece of advice? What do you think a parent should look out for in a school? And how do you think they should figure out whether the school has it or not?
So when a parent walks into campus for an admission, so the first thing that we ask the parent is that what is it that you are looking for your child? Is it the holistic development that you would want your child to be into? Is it only academics? Is it that you're looking for sports, interest in sports that you have? There could be so many various reasons why a parent must be approaching a school, and of course they do their own background work before they come to a school. So when that happens, and then we get to know about why is it that the parent has approached this particular school, then I think for the school also it becomes easier to go that route. It could be that when a child enters the class, the child may be looking for that. A parent may be looking for that. I want my child to be excelling in public speaking. How is it that I am giving that exposure to children? Am I as a school, are we building those skills in children, and how is it that we are routing it? Is it that you have oratory classes separately, or are you doing it through your day-to-day interactions that the teacher has in class? So what is it that the parent is looking for actually? That is important to know. And once that is known, then there can be an individualized plan for a child also, to know that, okay, this is what is the child's interest, and maybe we route our learning in that manner. So that would become easy for parents when they're looking for schools. Also, I think when parents enter or are looking for schools, they should look for the quality of teachers. That is first. Then whether the intention with which they're working matches the outcome that is there. I always look for, I tell the parents also that it's not about the infrastructure. It is more, you should look for the alumni of the school. You should look for where is it that your child, the school has placed its children. How much of importance has been given for a child's overall development. In this world and age, nobody looks for just bookish knowledge. You need to have all the skills that other skills that are so much important for a child to be pursuing higher education. So is the school able to deliver on their promises? So if parent does their homework and approaches the school, looks for, okay, what are the placements where all have their students embarked upon. So for example, for my school, we can say that our children are placed in various fields, from being an IIT in an IIT to a child being, going to Paris for fashion studies, or pursuing, art and design in a good college somewhere. So, and so many students placed abroad in, good Ivy League universities. So if you look at that to say that, where is it that the students have been placed, I think that talks about what the journey of this child has been in the schooling system. So if it has been effective, that is when the child has reached that mark. So schooling, of course, plays a great role, and that is what I think a parent should look for, the alumni of the school.
Got it. And ma'am, the general perception is if I want my kid to do well in the Indian examinations like IITs and NEETs, it's good that he goes to a CBSE syllabus. Or if I'm looking at my kid going to a foreign university, then IB is the right curriculum for him. This is the general perception that a lot of parents have.
Right.
And how right or wrong are they in thinking like this?
Okay. So all these years, actually, students have gone through, whether it's the state board or the CBSE, children have gone abroad and they have pursued higher education. So the board matters to an extent, not that it is the end and the means to it. So, for example, CBSE, if you see, you have so many students from the CBSE who go abroad. So that is not the criteria. I think if the child is interested, if they have the right means, and also if they have been guided correctly, a board does not matter. Only that IB and, the other curriculums, the Cambridge curriculum, it is only about some credits that children, have gives to their advantage when they go abroad to universities. But otherwise, CBSE is no less. And the national curriculum works very well for children who want to pursue their higher studies abroad. Guidance should be there. The right guidance should be given.
For those parents who didn't visit the campus yet, can you tell us what sort of physical infrastructure is available at Suchitra Academy? And can you also tell us the importance of it in shaping a student into a well-rounded personality?
So at grade 11 and 12, we offer around 20 subjects to choose from, and it's completely interdisciplinary. So CBSE with the NAP now has professed that we should have interdisciplinary subjects. But since the inception of our senior secondary in the school, we have always followed the interdisciplinary process. So that means that a child who's taking science can also take psychology, or can also pursue fashion studies, can also take up AI, painting. So there's so many other subjects that we offer. And so that I think that's what makes it very interesting for children. Subjects like mass media are very popular. We have an in-house studio, a radio show that goes on air every week, and a TV show that goes on air every fortnight. So children really look forward to working in the media team, with the media team. And so these are a couple of things that make learning interesting for children. So where you have the core subjects that are being followed, at the same time, if they have any hobbies or any different kind of curriculum that they want to follow, any exploration that they want to do with other subjects, So this interdisciplinary method works very well with students. Coming to the infrastructure bit, so we have, of course, the state of the art labs that are there. We have a wonderful fashion studies studio that is coming up. And we have, again, a state of the art and design studio that is coming up, that is also catering to the maker space lab. So, maker space is where children tinker with technology. It is about robotics, it is about AI and machine learning. It could be a lot to do with design thinking that comes into focus. And so, yeah, we are really looking forward to that and excited to have a new venture in the school. But otherwise, also, we have had makerspace, as part of the curriculum for grades 4 to 10. And we have had held exhibitions and shows, and our children have participated in IEEE competitions. Last year, the children had visited, they were part of a team that went to Egypt. They were the finalists for the IEEE, and they had gone to Egypt to present their innovative ideas. So, yeah, there's a lot that happens in school.
That's very nice, ma'am. Ma'am, for those parents who are looking for an admission at Suchitra, can you take us through the admission process, be it for CBSE or IB? Is there any examination that's conducted, or how does the filtering process work?
Right.
And which time of the year you think they should approach the school to get an admission at Suchitra?
So admissions for the year started, around November. And for parents who are on transferable jobs, etc., we are open through the year. At the same time, when parents come to us for admissions, yes, the child does go through a fitment. We call it a fitment assessment. It is just to see the level of the child in the class, and and what is the baseline, I would say, the learning skills of the child at that level. So once that is done, and then we do have an interaction with the child too, and then the admission is granted based on the child's performance. So that is how it goes. And coming to grade 11 and 12, we also offer scholarships for deserving candidates. So there could be 100% scholarship also offered to children who perform exceptionally well in the scholarship test. So there are a lot of advantages for children who, the fees is completely waived off then. So that's how.
Very nice. We look forward to meeting you once again, getting to know more about Suchitra Academy and your experiences. In the interest of time, we had to conclude it now. Thank you so much for your time, and a pleasure talking to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah.